Today, we still don't know if Conor McGregor is going to fight Michael Chandler in about 3 to 4 weeks' time. Also, we're going to be going over the card that is being offered to my hometown, Louisville, Kentucky, and it don't look good. Matter of fact, we're only going to go over the main card because it don't look good. All of this and more on today's episode of Matter of Fact MMA. What's up? What's happening? Let's go. What's up, guys? We right back at it. We right back with it. It's your boy Matt. We here to go over a couple of things. That's going on. We're going to talk about Conor and Michael Chandler. It won't be a lot. And then we're going to go over the main card of the next UFC fight night, which will go down in my hometown where I live, Louisville, Kentucky. So let's start up at the top. Let's start with the tippy top. Conor McGregor versus Michael Chandler. Now, as I spoke about earlier this week, the press conference that they were supposed to have in Dublin was called off. There was a lot of mystery around this. No one was really wanting to reveal why it was called off, what was going on, right? Right. So, the UFC just basically said that it was going to be postponed. Conor McGregor released a statement saying that he was working with the UFC and that they were going to be postponing the press conference. He was sorry for it. He was sorry to the Dublin fans, the American fans, and everyone. Now, since that date, a lot of ads, as in advertising, have been pulled for UFC 303, which is where McGregor will fight Chandler, supposedly. Also, I've seen that commercials were pulled. Not all, but a lot of them. Ads were pulled. There's a lot of weird posts coming from Michael Chandler online as, talking about, he's leaving training camp. He's going back to Nashville, which is where he lives. He trains in Florida. A lot of cryptic quotes and tweets on his Instagram and Twitter about basically staying positive and weathering the storm and all these different things. I'm paraphrasing, but seeming as if Michael Chandler just lost what he's been waiting almost 3 years for. With that being said, Conor McGregor has been pretty tight-lipped. He released a photo of him with his family, and, basically, alluding to he's in a happier place. I'm really not sure if these two men are going to fight anytime soon. Frankly, I'm not sure what Conor McGregor is going to do, but the point of, what a lot of fans online, what a lot of people have been screaming at simple-brained Michael Chandler for a while is don't go down this path. Because a lot of us, and I know the homie had to keep hope alive. It's the biggest fight, the biggest moneymaker fight that any fighter could have is fighting Conor McGregor. So I get it. You got to chase that bag. He's got a family to feed. He's got to go after that. But as the years went on, because he's been sitting out for over 2 years now. As the time went on, it's just kind of like one of those things where, bro, it's Conor McGregor. It's the King of Snow. You know what I'm saying? It's Sir Stout himself. You know what I'm saying? It's the Black Forge Bandit. You know what I'm saying? It's like, my dude, you can't rely on him to make it to the octagon. You know what I'm saying? He's like 200 million, 400 million, maybe more up. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't stand to make that. He's already got that. So, now Chandler's been setting out for over 2 years. He's not the youngest for the lightweight division or the welterweight division. He's been setting out prime years that he could still be in the mix. You know what I'm saying? He could have been in the mix with Poirier. He could have been in the mix with Gaethje. Doesn't matter he lost to both of those guys. He could have been in the mix with Max Holloway. You know what I'm saying? He could have been trying to figure out a way to make it to an Islam Makhachev fight. But instead, you've been waiting on Conor. Now, once again, I get it. It's the biggest possible moneymaker fight and popularity fight you can have is a fight with Conor McGregor. But I think at many times throughout the last 2 years, the writing's been on the wall that the Irishman is not going to fight. Now, with that being said, this fight has not been officially canceled yet. Ariel Helwani is making reports that he thinks it is trending more positive that this fight will happen. As of last night, if you're aware, you follow Mike Heck from MMA Fighting. He's heard the same things that Ariel has heard, that the fight is still on. It has not been canceled, but where there's smoke, there's fire. So there's definitely something going on. Also, if this fight falls out, what is the UFC going to put as the main event of International Fight Week? Because it can't be Jamal Hill versus Carlos Ulberg. That just can't be it. You know what I'm saying? So, we'll see what happens there. I mean, there was a little bit of chitter-chatter where, Kayla Harrison was asked if it was possible, would she step in on short notice and face Amanda Nunes at International Fight Week? She said yes. I think that's just online talk because, who knows if Amanda Nunes has been doing anything at all. That's just a shot in the dark. It's just something I saw on the internet. So I'm not saying that that's going to happen at all. Weird times, though, for the UFC. And it's all centered around Conor McGregor. It's just like, what else is new? You can't get the man in the octagon. You can't trust him outside of the octagon. Don't put him at a party with a lot of women. Don't put him around a boatload of snow. So you don't really know what's going on with this dude. Hopefully the UFC is able to figure out something. I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know what monumental fights they could be working on, but we'll see. We'll see how it all shapes up. So anyway, let's move on from that as I check my Nizzotes. Let's move on from that to UFC Louisville. Now, first off, I will say I am excited that the UFC is coming to Louisville. But with that being said, UFC, come on, bro. I'm out here doing the Lord's work weekly. I'm promoting y'all's cards. I'm talking about your fighters, talking about what's going on. I'm doing y'all a service. This is the best card. This is the absolute best card you could bring to Louisville. I mean, I know you're coming to the KFC Yum Center. You know what I'm saying? But this is the best that you could do. I mean, so with that being said, we're only going to talk about the main card because that's all we need to talk about. Let's start out. In the main event, Jared Cannonier will step in the octagon with Nasruddin Imavov. Well, that's the main event fight. Looking at this, I'm actually going to go along. With Jared Cannonier in this one. Jared Cannonier, while he is not the most exciting fighter, which, I mean, he's had quite a few knockouts in his career. He knocks out fighters. He's finished some guys. But it's just, you never really know what you're going to get in a Jared Cannonier fight. Because he could just as easily go out there and, in his own style, point fight. Throw a few shots, throw a few solid leg kicks, back off. Lure a guy into a trap, catch him with some jabs, catch him with a few shots, few leg kicks, back off. You know what I'm saying? Generally, Jared Cannonier only goes for the finish if he clearly sees that path to the finish. If he's able to drop you, if he's able to knock you down, knock you off balance, get mount on you, anything like that, then he will go for the finish. But for the most part, Cannonier has a very strategic and safe style, even though he's had some very violent knockouts that he's administered in his career. With that being said, I think he's going to be able to go out there and probably point fight Nasruddin to a decision win. I think Nasruddin is definitely a good fighter. I think at times he has questionable fight IQ with how he uses his gas tank in his fights. But I definitely do think he's a good fighter. Would not shock me if he goes out there and defeats Jared Cannonier. But Cannonier's had plenty of time out of the octagon, plenty of time to train. He's a big family guy. So with that being said, he's had plenty of time with his family to kind of, relax, readjust, recalibrate himself. So I'm going to go along with Jared Cantonier to go out there and get the win. I think he's going to get a 5-round decision. Probably won't be the most exciting over Nasruddin. Let's move on to the co-main event, where we have the man whose chin left him many, many, many moons ago. We're talking about Dominic Reyes stepping in there with Dustin Jacoby. Dominic Reyes' chin left him many, many, many years ago. You know what I'm saying? His chin probably first thought about serving him those divorce papers. Probably when he stepped in there against Jan Blachowicz. Oh, Yanni Blacko. You know what I'm saying? Homie's chin's been gone. It left him a long time ago. Him and his chin already got divorced. His chin done moved into a whole other state, and he's still paying alimony on it. With that being said, I got Dustin Jacoby to go out there and get the win. Dustin Jacoby's an outstanding fighter, great kickboxer. At the end of the day, my only knock on him is his fight IQ is not the best. So, this is his fight to lose. He should go out there and he should definitely dominate and chin Dominic Reyes. With that being said, Jacoby has horrible fight IQ. So if he loses this fight, it most definitely is his fault, and it's because he made horrible decisions in the octagon. Nevertheless, I got Jacoby by knockout. Let's move on. We have Raul Rosas Jr. stepping in there finally with Ricky Turcios. This fight was already supposed to happen. These two gentlemen had some bad blood going into their fight week. A lot of talking about each other. I believe at the last minute, due to weight cut complications, even though the weight was made, Raul Rosas Jr. ended up, I believe he wasn't allowed to fight due to having to be hospitalized after the weight cut. Nevertheless, the fight is going to go down. This one will actually more than likely probably be a good fight. I would have to say this would probably be a pretty decent fight. In this one, I'm going to go along with Raul Rosas Jr. I think Ricky, of course, definitely has the advantage in the stand-up department. He has the advantage on the feet. However, I believe that Raul Rosas is bigger, larger, more physical, has more physicality to his game, and I believe that if he can weather the storm on the feet, eventually this will go to the ground and Raul Rosas will probably submit him. So I got Raul Rosas Jr. by submission here. Let's move on. We have Bruno Ferreira stepping in there with Dustin Stoltzfus. I'm going along with Dustin here. Bruno Ferreira, I definitely think he's a decent fighter. He's had some wins and he's had some losses. I'm actually going to go along with Dustin here, though. I think Dustin is the more skilled fighter. He'll be able to go in there, put a pace on him, and get him out of there. So I'm going along with Dustin for the win there. We also have Julian Marquez stepping in there with Zachary Reese. I don't even know what to pick here because I don't really think Zachary Reese is necessarily that good at all. And Julian Marquez talks a lot, but he hasn't really performed at a top level in the octagon in years. I mean, literally in years, right? I mean, his last fight was in 2023 against Powerbar Mark Barrialt. But, bro, he's just in and out of the octagon. He deals with injuries, so I'm just not really sure about him. I hate to pick Zachary Reese, though. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go along with Julian Marquez to get the win, but I'm not confident in that whatsoever. And then finally, the last fight on the main card, we have Miguel Baeza stepping in there with Punao Soriano. I think Soriano's chin is pretty much left him. I don't think his chin is full-blown divorced him yet, but I think him and his chin are having problems, and his chin is probably at least got him sleeping on the couch, but his chin might be leaving him. I'm going to go along with Miguel to go out there and get the win. Outside of that, man, on the prelims, we got Thiago Moises stepping in there against Ludwig Klein. That should be a really good fight. That's an interesting one. That's a tough one to call. That's a hard one to call, man, because Moises ain't no joke, and Klein is good as well. I'm probably going to lean toward Klein to get the win there, but we'll see how that goes. You got Andrea A.K. Lee fight on this card against Montana De La Rosa. I got Andrea Lee. Brad Katona against Jesse Butler. I would lean toward Brad Katona in that one. I mean, kind of is what it is, man. Cody Stamann stepping in there against Taylor Lapilus. I'd go along with Taylor there, so we'll see. There's a few other fights in the card, but again, man, not the most exciting card coming to Louisville, Kentucky, the Yum Center. Shout out to the Ville. But it kind of is what it is, man. So we'll see how it all goes down. I'm going to keep an eye on this Chandler McGregor situation. Can't say that I feel promised that there's actually going to be a fight. I kind of think the fight is over at the moment, and the UFC is trying to pivot and figure out what they're going to do before they make an announcement. So we will see. Nevertheless, I will be right back with you guys with a little bit more news. We'll see how everything shakes out today. I know the MMA hour will be going on later on, so we'll see what happens on that. Nevertheless, I really appreciate you guys for checking out these videos. Please like, subscribe, comment. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you think about this terrible offering coming to Louisville, Kentucky. And once again, I do want to thank you for joining me for another episode of Matter of Fact MMA. And I check you next time. Peace.